Okay, good evening, everybody. It's Donna Raftery, second vice chair. Welcome to our August exec meeting. It is 6:37. I'm calling this meeting to order. So we have the July 26th executive committee minutes. We have a motion to approve the minutes. So moved. Second. Okay, so that's Janine and Susan. Okay, and we will move on to the chair's report. Mark? No, district manager. Wait for Bowie for the chair's report. Go to the district manager's report.
Okay, I'll do it now if that's okay. DNS prep, we're coming up on the district needs statement and statement of budget priorities time of year. I have circulated to you all a way too long memo that gives you more than you wanted to know about the district needs statement for those who are new to the process and those who are veterans as well. There are links in the memo. It's on the table too, although the links obviously aren't in print. It has links to what's in the Google Drive. And what's in the Google Drive essentially is what we did last year and those things that will be available to us this year. There's a survey that we do every year. I think it's worth taking a look at when we get a chance. The problem is that in years up till now, there was a way to download the results of the survey and I put it into the Google Drive. This year it's just online. And you guys can't see it because it's only limited to people with my kind of email address. So I've asked them to change that. They're working on it. We'll see what happens. But I will tell you that of the 30 responses I looked at last time I looked at it, there was an awful lot of people talking about public safety and homelessness and things that bring me to my next point, which is the district needs statement and statement, which is two different things, right? It's the narrative statement of district needs and then the budget priorities that go along with. And as all of you guys know, every budget priority should respond to a district need, but not every district need is capable of being solved by money. Some of them require policy changes or other changes, and we should feel free to include both. But there are things that fall outside of our committee structure because their structure for the district needs statement is different than ours. So, for example, we have in the drive, we have information from the New York Public Libraries about what their priorities are. There are, as I said, public safety, especially NYPD and FDNY, that doesn't really fit into any of our committees. There's homeless services and mental health issues. Remember that last year, one of our top 3 was a mental health initiative. And there's education and youth services that right now fall outside of active committee structures. I mentioned top 3. It is typical that, so in addition to district needs category by category, each community board identifies the top 3 district needs for their district. That's something that this body, the executive body, and certainly at some point the full board should vote on. And that's what we've done in the past. So that's enough about that. Everything you need is in the memo. Other than that, just wanted to highlight it for it. The deadline theoretically is October 31st. There's a little bit of a grace period, but that basically means that, there is one more thing. That basically means that we have to vote on this as a board in the October full board meeting, which means that latest we should have the executive committee decide what to put in front of the full board at exec in October, which means that if you're doing the math, the committees that are going to take this up should probably do so in September.
That's the short answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's also a charter mandate to hold a public hearing. In the past, what we've done is assign 20 minutes in the first part of our full board meeting in October to do that, and no one ever comes. But you never know. This might be the year, especially with what's going on in Crosby Street and all of that. Okay. A quick note, and forgive me for
What's going on Crosby Street?
Say again?
What's going on Crosby Street?
The same thing that was happening in the northwest corner of Washington Square Park.
Oh, really?
Which is open air drug market plus people who were vulnerable being preyed upon.
You mean Crosby and Houston?
On both sides.
But on Houston.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. When I was more thinking Houston when you said that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And there was a meeting last week sometime with the 9th precinct, the NoHo bid, and an elected official or two, to which we were not invited, even though I had my district service cabinet last week. And I gently suggested that perhaps it would be profitable to include us next time.
What was the agenda?
I don't know, because I wasn't invited.
Oh, you didn't find out from your sources?
Your sources.
Yes, my clandestine network is hard work on that. I wanted to bring something to your attention that is a little bit off topic, but forgive me, it's burning on my heart. There is something called the public charge policy. You're aware? Okay, the public charge policy says that it's basically designed so that people who are trying to immigrate to the United States, who are likely to end up wards of the state, that's taken into account when their green card application is considered. There is a memo that may become policy on September 18th that drastically changes what counts as public assistance for this, so that if you have SNAP, if you have Medicaid, if you have even subsidized housing, you may now be considered to be taking what's called benefiting from public charge, and that by itself now can be a reason to disqualify you from your green card. And to the extent that anybody ever approaches any of us with respect to immigration questions, we don't get many, but you might want to be careful about that. People are actually turning down scholarships to public universities because they're afraid that a scholarship will constitute violation of the public charge. Yes, I'm proud to be an American. Okay, calendar updates. Cannabis has added a meeting on August 31st. There is a hope that they will withdraw that application, but as of right now, it's on the calendar. That needs a quorum because that application, if it does go forward, needs to be heard at the September full board meeting because October will be too late. Parks and Waterfront has a meeting on the 9th. I'm looking for a substitute venue other than this room for that, because we anticipate a crowd will be drawn to it due to outside forces. I just wanted to highlight that we're entering the months of September, October, November, December. These are the months where we have the least flexibility in trying to schedule anything that's unusual, anything even off-site. And we may end up, for example, I know we avoid it like the plague, but if it may be that we have to have a doubled up meeting every now and again, if there is a demand for that. The deadline for, so the e-blast for the September calendars will be a week from tomorrow. That's Friday, the 28th. I will be in a different time zone, but I will do my best to weigh in to make sure that gets out on time.
So we should get stuff to you early since you're going on vacation.
Well, not only that, but the next 2 weeks are the end of summer and Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And yes, I am going to my 50th high school reunion.
Oh.
You needed to know that, right?
We're curious.
So we're going to try, but it's also just getting something into somebody's inbox at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday on those 2
In the
weekends.
summer,
You
especially.
might as well do it on Monday morning. So we're going to try to do it earlier in the week. Your cooperation on that, especially for the committees whose agendas are
Earlier in the month.
their construct would be helpful. And then finally, it's not too early to think about the holiday party, especially considering there were concerns about where we did it last couple of years and when we did it. The only open date I see right now is November the 30th, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving. So technically, it's in the holiday period.
By whose definition?
Early.
Or
And-
retailers.
The Brass Monkey is way west. So if there are ideas that anybody wants me to pursue, I'm always a little bit sheepish about this because I have a funny feeling about approaching people we regulate. So maybe we ought to look, maybe I should do reciprocity with the new district manager of Community Board 4, and we'll host her meeting and she can host ours, but we'll see what happens. That's Stacy Johnson, by the way. She was
Yes,
working with
Stacy.
Senator Kavanaugh. Hey.
That's awesome.
So anyway, that's my report. I just commend the memo to you for the district needs statement, unless there are questions. Not seeing any, so thanks, everybody.
Okay. Okay, so is there, I guess now we'll do the review of the draft September calendar. Does anybody from any of the committees have any issues?
As usual, we don't know at this stage,
You're having
but
your
we'll
second,
do our best to squeeze everything into the regular meeting.
okay, and you're scheduled on the 16th,
No, 17th.
17th?
Landmarks.
Oh, landmarks, yeah, sorry.
And just so you know, the 21st Yom Kippur ends at sundown.
Yeah.
So you might want to really try to squeeze everything in on the 17th.
And that's good for us, actually. I mean, considering how they fell.
Yeah. You're right.
Does anybody else have
Friday and-
anything?
Yeah.
Or we,
I would just, I mean, we have to do ours on the 14th, but we should, Mark, we should keep an eye out because there could be applications coming in the next week or two that we'll have no chance to review at all. So we should just
Because of
That's
that.
always-
try to keep an eye out for something that's particularly egregious.
So I asked Florence to do that very thing today.
Yeah,
And by the way, we are now confirmed the DEP will come to your meeting on whenever it is.
September.
Yeah, to talk about the noise code.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
They're confirmed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah.
okay. Is there anybody else? Okay, and I guess, make sure that Valerie has everybody's agenda, does not have that. For anybody that has to have an agenda, so that she can review that. All right. Calendars. We're moving on to the renewal of existing adult use cannabis license. Mar, are you? She's here.
Yeah,
Oh, I also noticed, sorry, I don't know who's a co-host, but Patricia Lara is in the list of attendees. If someone could maybe
Right,
promote her.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
We have
you.
anyone else in attendees?
no. I mean, not board members.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eugene. Mar,
yeah.
go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we didn't meet this month. We had we had 3 applications, all were withdrawn. One was 500 feet from a school. They actually reapplied and we are set to hear them at the end of this month on the 31st. It's at 678 Broadway. It is 500 feet for Bright Horizons at NoHo. The other one's having real estate problems, and the last one withdrew. It's within 1,000 feet of Travel Agency Soho. So Housing Works gave us their second renewal notice. Rather than convene a meeting for that, we decided to push it through exec. And so this is the resolution just to approve the second renewal in New York cannabis history. So here we are.
That's right. Wow.
So it's pretty bare bones. I actually made another version that links both of our resolutions, the initial resolution from 2022, the renewal from 2024. I'm just saying, we affirm, our previous, they've been good operators. I checked 311, I checked everything. There have been no incidents. They run an orderly business. And as we know, Housing Works is a great community partner, and 51% of the proceeds go to the Housing Works nonprofit mission.
okay. I guess, so now we'll take a vote on this. All those in favor?
I'm sorry, wait a second. I'm
What
sorry.
have to do?
So this is a public hearing, so
Okay, anybody from the public here to speak on this application? Please raise your hand.
I don't see anything.
I don't see anybody. Okay, so that's a no. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any recusals? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Okay, next is street activities.
All right, busy month this month, 21 applications, 22 renewals. Some interesting ones, which I'll call out quickly as I go through. But first two were Wavy Talk product launches on August 5th and 6th, Varick between Canal and Watt. That was an approval. I will know we unfortunately didn't have quorum. There was a travel snafu with one of our members, Erica, who couldn't make it at the last minute. So it was not with the quorum. So these votes are technically not true votes, I guess. Number 3, Vandy the Pink, 620 Broadway between Bleecker and Houston. That was approved. That should say
Please.
August
August 6th.
6th instead of June 8th. Number 4, August 9th, crew appreciation trailer for Trader Joe's. That was Hudson Square Plaza, no show deny. I was excited because I think that was going to be the first use of that plaza officially for an event. Oh, well.
Still have.
I'm not sure actually if I had it. Number 5, August 12th, Sephora event, Gansevoort Plaza. That was unanimous approved. Number 6, August 13th, Infinite Machine. No show deny for the Gansevoort Plaza, unanimous. Number 7, August 15th, LSBK fragrance launch. That was unanimous approved. Bravo between Plymouth and Houston. August 15th, Farm Rio Stanley Prince between Green and Worcester. We had sort of a split on the committee, so we couldn't make a recommendation on that one. I think it did end up happening. I don't know how it went, but it was on an extremely busy block with a narrow sidewalk. I didn't personally think they could maintain the 5-foot lane. Number 9, August 20th, hair care brand activation, Astor Place Plaza. It was unanimous approved. Number 10, August 26th, Chapstick, new product activation, Astor Place Plaza. That was no show deny. Number 11, Scarlet Gas, September 9th, Fashion Week Lounge. Sorry, that is Gansevoort Plaza as well. That was approved unanimous. Number 12, also August 9th, Bulgaria Serpentine and Finito, Washington between Gansevoort and Horatio. That was unanimous approved. August 10th, Chanel dinner. This is an interesting one. We should follow up on this one, Mark.
Okay.
This was a deny. It's interesting because this is actually an event that's happening inside the plaza, but inside
For the restaurant.
inside the restaurant, but they wanted to put elements on sidewalks on both sides, like of the corner of where the restaurant sits, that would block both sidewalks. So if you're coming on that side of the sidewalk of, what's the corner of Broadway, or that specific side of the sidewalk of Crosby, your sidewalk is blocked either way. So it's like a pedestrian nightmare, and it's a completely private
They
event.
always have something every year.
And it's a completely private event, so we said it's denied because they're taking up too much space. They're making it really confusing for pedestrians, and it's not an event that's open to the public. So anyway, that was one we wanted to call out. August number 14, September 10th, ALD San Gennaro. This was a deny unless this was ultimately denied by SAPO, we learned. Really interesting one as well. They wanted to put a helicopter in the street on the block, like a branded helicopter, which was a bit crazy. It was going to come in on a trailer. Anyway, it's as you know, that block is very narrow, and there's, as Carter was telling me, that's going to be San Gennaro set up as well, as he was reminding me. So it's going to be chaotic. So anyway, that we learned that SAPO has denied that one.
Why would we approve it unless NYPD said no, given the whole effect on that neighborhood?
What was the deny unless?
Well, but I mean, unless NYPD signed off on it, why would we defer to NYPD when that community is so
Yeah, like what?
imposed upon in that time?
I think we thought just of that, it was no active activation other than something just sitting there. So if it was like small enough to sit in the curb lane, it wasn't that disruptive. We just weren't sure exactly how wide the street was and whether the helicopter could actually fit.
That's a standard size helicopter, real.
Yeah.
But they were
They're
gonna
not
be doing something, so it would have been. I mean, they're not just putting it there for nobody to come.
Well,
I'm just saying, because
yeah,
it's just something that I feel like that I just don't understand why we would defer to the NYPD when that area is the most overwhelmed for so long.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Activation.
I mean, that's why
The stores close and
Yeah.
leave. So
I don't know. I think we probably did it as a deny unless rather than an approved provided because we were sort of more against it, but maybe it should have been a deny, but I don't know. We just did it that way.
it just
Yeah,
seems-
it's a good
Because
point.
if you keep doing events on that particular block, that
Yeah.
is very overwhelming. And there's a history of not working with their neighboring businesses.
Yeah.
Or the residents.
Yeah, no, I think that got through
This
to us.
discussion is still on the helicopter.
What's that?
Is this discussion still about the helicopter?
No,
work?
but the helicopter's not coming, but well, it's a good point. I think we're aware of all the issues they've had, so I'm not sure why we worded it that way, but I think the committee, recognizes that for future events. So number 15 was Dolce Gabbana, Gansevoort Plaza, September 12th to 13th. That was unanimous approved. Number 16 was Ciel Cosmetics, Fashion Week pop-up, Lafayette between Broome and Grand. That was approved. Number 17 was Duolingo Phonetic Fashion Campaign, September 12th. Power between Broadway and Crosby. That was a no-show deny. Number 18 was Summer Party, West 4th between 12th and Jane. That was a no-show deny. Number 19, Fried Rice, Mulberry between Prince and Spring, September 13th. That was a unanimous approve. Number 20, August 15th, Meatpacking Jam Jam, Gansevoort Plaza, unanimous approve. Number 21, September 18th, Snoopy Balloon. That was a no-show. That's Gansevoort Plaza, no-show deny. And number 22, Soho Playhouse Junior launch, September 19th. That was a unanimous approve. There's a million renewals as well, 21 renewals. That's it. That was a busy month.
Okay, is there anybody here, I guess, public on these?
I'd like to be clear, was the helicopter a deny or a deny unless?
We worded it as a deny unless. It's kind of a moot point now because it's actually been denied by SAPO officially.
Okay, I just want to deny it if it would. But I understand it's finished already.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Any other board members have any questions? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Recusals? So I'm with the recusals. Number 5, number 6, number 11, number 15, number 20, 21, 23, 24, and 33. I'm a voting member of the meatpacking pit.
All right.
You'll give me that later.
Yeah, I sent it around to Emma has it, and thank you so much. Okay. All right, next up is SLA, so that's me. SLA 1 met on August 5th. We had 16 applications and 10 resolutions, and all the votes were unanimous. Blank Forms Inc., 151 Lafayette Street. This is a wine, beer, and cider for a restaurant, deny unless with Stips. Nico Grand LLC doing business as Kaito Hibachi Sushi Bar at 194 Grand Street on premise for a restaurant, deny unless with Stips. H&M Restaurant Inc. doing business as La Bella Vita at 163 Mulberry. This is an on-premise for a restaurant. It's a class change, deny unless with Stips. Ambleside Partners LLC doing business as Gospel 281 Lafayette Street. It's a change in method of operation, alteration. This was a denial. We denied it last month and there was nothing different this month, so it was a denial. Center for Emerging Culture Inc., doing business as Lightning Society, 45 Howard Street, it's also known as 427 Broadway. This is floors 4 and 5. It's a wine application for their members club. This was a denial. Max New York Union Square LLC, doing business as Max Brenner at 841 Broadway, for a restaurant. This is a re-notification. We heard them in July 2025. We have Stips. The appearance was waived, deny unless. Little Lucky's, doing business as Lucky's, 224 Lafayette. It's an alteration to add sidewalk. Deny unless with Stips. Their appearance was waived. Bleecker Hospitality LLC, doing business as Bosco at 169 Bleecker Street. Alteration to add roadway. This was really re-notification. They had signed Stips in June 2025, deny unless. 24 Fifth Avenue LLC, doing business as Claudette at 24 Fifth Avenue, alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless with Stips. Their appearance was waived. And then Center for Goods LLC and Restaurant Associates LLC, doing business as Roman and Williams Guild, New York, and La Merciere Cafe and Bakery at 53 Howard. This was an alteration to add sidewalks and deny unless with Stips, and their appearance was waived. And then items 11 to 16 were layovers or withdrawals. Any questions? Comments? Anybody from the public? A willingness to vote?
Can you show the attendee screen so we know if there's anybody raising their hand? That Mark?
Yeah.
You'll see it.
Yeah, I'm looking and I don't see anybody. I have it open on my thing here.
All right.
Okay, all those in favor?
I
Opposed? Any abstentions? Recusals? Okay, all pass. Okay, SLA 2 was on August 6th. We had 10 applications and 5 resolutions. One, Peggy Joan Cubbyhole LLC, doing business as Cubbyhole at 281 West 12th Street, on premise for a tavern, deny unless with Stips. 210, all decisions were unanimous. 210 West 10 Restaurant LLC, 210 West 10th Street, on premise for a restaurant, deny unless with Stips. A New World LLC at 526 Hudson Street, so wine, beer, and cider for a tavern, previously unlicensed location, deny unless with Stips. A24 Commerce Street LLC and Galactus Group LLC as manager, doing business as Cherry Lane Theater. That's 3842 Commerce Street, on premise for restaurant, change of method of operation to extend the hours. And that was a deny unanimous. And then Killeen Westside LLC, doing business as Kagan Lanter. This was to add sidewalk seating, appearance was waived. And we have Stips on that. And then items 6 through 10 were layovers or withdrawals. Any questions, comments?
I have a question. So Cherry Lane Theater, I didn't realize there's a restaurant there now?
There's a restaurant called Sweet Cherry.
Okay.
There.
Wild Cherry?
Wild Cherry, sorry, Wild Cherry.
I didn't realize that. So it's not just a theater anymore.
No, it's not. And I think they used to have a theater, like the restaurant years and years ago. And so, yeah, so there's a restaurant.
It's been problematic for the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
The short answer.
that's the short answer, and extension, it has its own group of people coming to it as opposed to, I think it used to just be more understated.
Yeah, it's
So
a big
more
draw.
community.
Does it have a beer and wine already?
It's licensed for full liquor license.
Oh, it is.
That's full liquor. They're just looking to extend the hours.
I see.
later.
Okay.
So. Okay, any unwillingness to vote? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions, recusals? Okay, they all pass. Okay, landmarks.
We've 2 meetings. The first meeting, 51 Mercer Street, to replace ground floor storefront. You'll notice this was previously heard. They had a proposal. We had suggestions for modifications. They instead made a completely new proposal, and it didn't incorporate any of our suggestions. So we recommend denial of the application unless there is a divided transom, a bulkhead, and that the applicant seek other details that would give the design historic reference. 426 West Broadway, to replace the finish on the existing step into the storefront. This is one of those, why on earth didn't staff do it? Recommend approval of the black facing the full width step in the front of the building. 20 East 9th Street. Legalize the construction and replacement of a solarium for a deteriorated structure that was removed and the framing of the new installation was installed without LPC permit. This was a big confusion because it was built before designation and they felt that they were replacing it and didn't need it, so it was somewhat of a technical violation. Approval of the solarium provided that it is painted in a color that will blend with the surroundings as agreed by the applicant. 256 West 4th Street. Construct a rooftop deck, new bulkhead, metal and glass railings, planter boxes, and relocate existing HVAC. Approval of the non-visible bulkhead and iron railing as agreed by the applicant, planters, deck, and HVAC location. 33 Parish Street, construct a new front areaway with an open grating at grade, a wrought iron fence, bluestone sidewalk, pavers, modify windows at the rear and the lot line elevation. This is an unusual areaway in that it occupies the public way. The reason that it was considered is that it was historically there over a vault that has always existed and was covered over at some time. They proposed a 36-inch wide one. In the meantime, we assume a tree pit was built, so there's less sidewalk space. And that's why we have a rather peculiar recommendation. Deny of the areaway unless the width is reduced to 24 inches and is flush with the sidewalk and of minimal height owing to the closeness, the clearance of the tree pit. They wanted a fence there, which has never been, which would have been a fence in the public way. And as it is our recommendation, it can be walked upon. Denial of any fence which would necessarily be in the public way. Approval of the bluestone sidewalk. Provided that this application is modified and approved. I won't read all of this. We build in a recommendation to the Department of Transportation whenever we approve anything that requires or may require a waiver from them, so that it's already decided and settled, and we simply have to send a letter to the Department of Transportation saying that we approved it. We obviously wouldn't approve something that we didn't approve to happen. 422 West Broadway. Restore and extend the fire escape, construct a rooftop addition, new with masonry walls, stair bulkhead, and install rooftop mechanical equipment. Approve the restoration of the facade, the fire escape restoration, and the addition of the entrance modification. Deny the rooftop addition unless it is set back an additional approximately 5 feet and the height is reduced to a minimum required with 8-foot ceiling heights to reduce visibility. It's unusually large for the building and very exposed even for the district.
Okay, that's it, right, for this one?
I'm getting the second one. I'll be right with you.
Let's vote on the first one.
Yeah, we're voting.
Do you want to vote on the first one, or we'll do them together?
No,
You do need to, they didn't have a quorum for the first meeting. So technically this will be the public hearing, so you should probably take separate votes.
separate votes, that's what I was going to do. Okay, all those in favor?
No, I'm sorry.
No.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, you should call for public testimony first.
Oh, public testimony. Is anybody here from the public? So used to not having to do public.
There's no hands. Okay, sorry to.
Okay, no, I'm not used to having to do the public at this part. Okay, any unwillingness to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Any abstentions? Any recusals? Okay, they all pass. All right. Okay, landmarks 2.
Application to extend the existing roof stair bulkhead to construct a penthouse. That means turning the bulkhead into a penthouse. Add rooftop safety railings around the roof, extend the ground floor at the rear yard, and replace front facade windows. This was one of the most vexing applications we have ever heard. It's an impossible situation to approve, and was presented with the most, I would say, clumsy presentation we've ever had.
That's pretty strong. Different bad ones.
Really,
And wood.
Above and beyond.
And then the upshot is, we have this very strict rule, but it's a strict rule subject to interpretation for each property about visibility, and the, I would say, guideline or policy is not more than minimally visible. In this case, it's an 18-foot long, completely visible from the north on Bleecker Street addition. Denial until and unless sufficient, clear, detailed information concerning the rear extension is provided to the commission that enables it to make a determination of appropriateness. We simply couldn't tell after endless emails and discussion. And this is the rooftop addition, denial of the rooftop addition with highly visible 18-foot long facade to the north and more than minimally visible from the east and south, and denial of any rooftop addition in this building owing to the extreme exposure of the rooftop. On the other hand, this Charles Street combination of two houses was one of the best applications we've ever heard and best presented. To combine two row houses into a single family residence, restore the front facade, modification to the areaways and railings, and a rooftop addition and mechanical equipment and railings, and a 2-story rear yard extension and excavation. With these combinations, we're terribly concerned that the two buildings that are being combined within remain to the street side, two historic buildings in their configuration, and they did a splendid job of that. Approval of the proposal to combine the two row houses with careful attention to details that ensure that the houses continue to be seen as separate buildings, and with faithful restoration of the front facade, sensitive alterations to the rear facade, and minimally visible rooftop addition and careful excavation and underpinning. Recommend approval of the continuation of the existing revocable consent And that's the same for the other, because it's an unusual situation in that the property line lies more or less in the middle of the areaway. So a good measure rather than just the bottom step of the stairway is in the public way. That's it.
Okay. Anybody from the public here on this application? I don't see anyone. Any unwillingness to vote? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Any recusals? Okay, so those all pass. All right, next up is Parks and Water Fund. I don't know if Rich is still on here. Just had a report. And I don't see Rich, so I think we're,
Rich had to leave the meeting because the Wi-Fi he was using crapped out.
okay. All right. Valerie's on a flooded train, so.
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness. Hopefully she's dry.
Gotta get more green infrastructure.
Really? It's these flash floods.
I mean, it's literally flooding outside there.
Oh, unfortunately, I was like, what's the,
Yeah, right there.
yeah, I walked through that. So
Yeah.
did you. I was like, what's the best way to walk there with the most
Right.
above coverage?
Yeah, okay.
That backfired on me.
I mean, at some point, when it means this much.
It's Shirley's fault, now it's Shanine's fault.
I know, oh, man.
Okay, is there, I think Valerie is not answering. She wants to jump on Zoom. I don't think she can though, but let's just give her a second.
I have a couple questions. Rich isn't here, but maybe Mark knows the answer. So the September 9th meeting is going to be for getting public feedback about what people want at 3 Hudson. So how are we promoting that to get that information out?
I'm not aware that there's an effort to promote that part of it.
But there should be if we're collecting. I mean,
It's a presentation on the rec center that is going into 388 with updates.
Got it.
Whether that's intended to be to collect information from folks of what they want to see in that, that's not an aspect of it that I've heard.
Oh, yeah, I was just reading it from the minutes.
Okay,
From the minutes from the meeting.
fair
So,
enough.
Okay, so,
And we know that folks who are concerned about the Dapolito building are being asked to come to this meeting because they see a link between whatever programming is in 388 and whatever safe travel.
Safe travel.
I hope you're in a different subway. Valerie.
Hope the plane takes off.
We will be bringing something to the September meeting concerning the Dapolitos.
So
Yeah, so it says community input on programming, and I first was like programming, which means what stuff goes into the building. Physical design programming, not will be a Zumba class at 9 o'clock on Tuesday.
I had part of the meeting, there's still seems to be discrepancy in the board's position, the committee's position, Apolito.
Yeah.
So that's still ongoing. Holding point, I don't know. Specific details about
I shouldn't editorialize, you've got Chanel right here, but there are folks who come to our meetings who are seeing a link between whatever happens at 388 and what could happen at a renovated Dapolito.
Right, well, there is, and people are just, I think even our board, there's lots of confusion over whether people would like to see complementary parks uses in both buildings. But now there's just always this shifting conversation that kind of undermines, I think, the larger board's position on it. So everybody wants to talk about them separately or together or whatever, but and that creates some confusion because I think that the Parks Department also has their own agenda as well. But there's been so much strength in the community about supporting Dappolito. This is gonna keep coming up until we have civil clarity.
I'm happy to circle back to Rich. I put together those summary slides for a meeting last June or May, I can't remember when it was, about a history of CB2's positions on the housing portion. I mean, sometimes it's just helpful to clarify what are the past positions, so everybody's on the same page. I'll reach out to Rich and ask about that.
I'm pretty sure we still have that information page
Well,
in the Google Drive somewhere.
well, I created it, so it's on my drive. I just gave you access
So
to
you're
it.
another one that doesn't share the.
No. I mean, I've drafted it,
And
so.
there's also some questions in the pool, right?
Right.
Supporting features required for the pool.
The outdoor.
Yeah, but that's not for discussion.
No, but people are saying that 388 is taking over Dappolito, and that's not the board's position. So when people
Right.
do comment on 388, it's a confusion point is that 388 is not a total replacement for Dappolito. I don't think that's the board's position. And it hasn't been. So that's what creates the confusion when we're taking testimony just on 388, because everybody's looking for all of the activities at Dappolito to be put into 388, which then goes against actually
Our position.
the board's position.
Position.
So there's, and that's because there's, I think there's an unwillingness to respect the board's position on, from the members of the committees. And so the conversation's constantly steered in that direction, so. That's,
Happy to talk about outreach. No one wants to talk to me. I need to talk about the board's position. So
well, it's important because that was the concern about outreach. Everybody's concerned about people talking about Dappolito, but of course they should talk about Dappolito because it is part of what goes into 388 for whether stuff is replaced or whether we're looking to have future, things in Dappolito. So I just was not fully present at that meeting because I was listening to it, but I just wanted to bring that up because we keep trying to undermine our own board's position.
I will reach out to Rich. I'll look at the presentation, see if it makes sense to add the other stuff. So he can go through that at the beginning of the meeting and just clarify where the board had stood historically.
Mhm.
Period.
And if it's useful to have an e-blast just about that meeting, once I figure out where I can put it, I'm glad to do that too.
Yeah, it probably is a good idea because it's the Wednesday after Labor Day and the day before the first day of public school. So it's
Understood.
not a great time.
Understood, but September is our worst month.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying like that. It's probably worth highlighting it,
Yeah.
given.
That's why full board in September breaks our rule, and it's actually the last Thursday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because you can't, no other
Yeah.
way to do it. Okay.
Okay, any new business? I see none.
I don't see any hands.
Okay, it's 7:24.
Woohoo, nice job.
During this meeting.
All righty. Second, I'm like all ready to leave. And it stopped raining. It stopped raining. I can't.
Lightened up. I don't know if
It's not more torrential.
Everybody enjoy the rest of your summer.
Yeah, stay dry if you,
Yeah, stay dry.
you guys are at home though.
Okay, yep.